Okay, did Hillary Clinton almost replace Joe Biden on the Obama-Biden ticket in 2012? Well, according to a new book, Double Down, by two terrific authors, as Dominic and I can attest, Mark Halperin and John Heilman, replacing Joe Biden as the VP with Secretary of State, then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, was an idea that was considered by some top Obama campaign officials. While some on the team now say it wasn't a serious plan, top advisors to the president secretly conducted polling and focus groups to see how the Secretary of State was due as VP. That polling showed the switch wouldn't make much of a difference, and White House Press Secretary Jay Carney says the idea was never entertained by the only guy that really matters, the president.
What I can tell you without a doubt is that the president never considered that, and had anyone brought that idea to him, he would have laughed it out of the room.
That said, Bill Daley, who was only the chief of staff for the White House at the time, he confirmed the account that was in the book, but added that the president probably wouldn't have gone along with the switch at the end of the day. Interesting here. And if anybody thinks it's all peace, love, and happiness in the Obama team, they're as cutthroat as anybody here. Whoever gets them over the finish line, imagine poor Uncle Joe getting kicked to the curb.
Imagine the White House denies this. It doesn't pass the smell test, the denial from Jay Carney in the White House. For the chief of staff, as you just pointed out, we're not talking about some low-level staffer. We're talking about the top dog next to the president and vice president doing focus groups on whether or not Hillary Clinton would do better than Joe Biden. The allegation in the book, and as you also pointed out, as we both know, two fantastic reporters writing this book.
We're both going to read this book. I'm going to get the details. I'm curious also, how far along was Hillary? Was she involved? Did they first ask her before they went through the exercise? Now, we're going to figure that out. Other part in the book, talked about Chris Christie. We both know likely 2016 running mate, but in the book, they get into the question of why was he not, or was he on that short list for VPs? The short answer is yes, and apparently the reason he didn't make it at the end of the day was questions about his health, and also in the vetting process, a lack of full disclosure or openness by the man on your screen, Chris Christie. Christie apparently didn't want to turn over a whole lot of information about both his personal family, his brother was investigated, what was the situation as it related with the help in his house, a whole host of questions, and he wouldn't come forward with health questions about this. Plus, apparently, he had a habit of not showing up on time for meetings and stuff like that, which irked them. But apparently, he was at one point in the short list, taken off, then reconsidered, but he didn't eventually pull the trigger. That would have been interesting.
You know, Richard, let's go to the last point you just made about Governor Christie not showing up on time. Read between the lines, for meetings, read between the lines. They knew that Governor Christie, in a nanosecond, would overshadow Mitt Romney. So by him showing up late on time, showing up late to meetings, that sent the message that I don't have much respect for you guys.
And I think if they had any doubts at that convention, the fact it was 18 minutes before he even mentioned Mitt Romney's name, they thought he had the loyalty of a flea here, that he wouldn't exactly...
I don't know how you would have handled that, but that might have been my last night in politics, because I would have went up to him and said, you really did deliver a speech for 18 minutes and you didn't mention me until 18 minutes in?
I guarantee you one thing, Dominic and I, we're both buying a book here.
How would you have handled that? I'm curious.
I don't know, but I would have been looking around at my guys saying, who vetted the speech? who let Clint walk out there with a chair? You know, I would have had some questions for my so-called staff. Anyway, that is all the time that Dom and I have for tonight here. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to see you back here Monday at 6 p.m. Until then, everyone, have a great weekend.